And welcome to another episode of Experts Speak. I'm Michael DeLon. Today I'm talking with Colton Pace. And Colton, first of all, thank you for being my guest today, sir.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Well, you're welcome. Colton is the founder of OwnWell.com, and what they do at OwnWell, if you own a home or a real estate investor, they can help you save money on property taxes. So that's a really intriguing concept, Colton. So I want to dive into it. And as we do, let me ask you the question that I always ask is, how in the world did you get doing what you're doing today?
Yeah, great question. I mean, no one grows up wanting to be a property tax expert, but here I am. So my background's in asset management, helping people manage their assets, and I used to work for a billionaire. And the way billionaires manage their homes and their real estate and their properties was totally different than my friends or family or parents ever did. And I saw all these tools, tips, resources, things that we were doing. I was like, can you do this for normal people's homes? Can you do this for my parents' house? And that was actually first customers of Ownwell were friends, family, people who's like, hey, let us try and do this. Let us try and show you these tools, tips, resources, and see if we can save you money and help you own your home well. It's in the name. And fast forward, that was like 10 years ago now, but 4 years into Ownwell, we help hundreds of thousands of customers reduce their property taxes. Property taxes, it's the second largest expense for the majority of homeowners after their mortgage. And we've gotten really good at reducing property taxes through appeals, protests, grievances, corrections, arbitration, exemptions, lots of different things you can do. But it's really a convoluted process, and people, 95% of people just pay their tax bill, no questions asked. So we are the tax experts here to help people reduce those bills.
That's amazing. It's funny you mentioned this. I was at a I don't know, pickup baseball game the other day with my family, and I overheard two ladies like two chairs down talking about this one subdivision, and they raised the taxes, and you need to appeal because my sister did it and she reduced her or something. And I was just sitting there with scratching my head going, really? That's a thing? It's obviously a thing.
Yeah.
Because right, we just pay the tax bill and we get, they every once in a while they reassess and values go up and we pay more in taxes, and there's really nothing that we can do about it because we just can't, right?
No,
Oh,
there are many things you can do about it, but you're absolutely right. Every local jurisdiction, every county has a tax assessor, and their job is to basically come out and say, this is the value of your home, and as such, this is how much you're taxed. It's a percentage, a tax times the value of your home. And this value of your home is set every single year or every 3 years, depending on the state or jurisdiction that you're in. And this value that they put on your home is an opinion, right? Valuing real estate is very difficult. Like look at Zillow, look at Open Door, or like all these companies that come out and try and value real estate. And in addition to that, property taxes have to be fair. So the individual you overheard was exactly right. The more people that appeal, actually, the lower you can get your property taxes because you can all push each other's assessments down because you're comparing them to one another. So there's one person in the neighborhood who has the lowest, and everybody can go in and we can argue on your behalf to get it lower. And basically, we use statistical analysis, market comps, basic comparable sales in the neighborhood, different tax assessments. We also, any type of information or evidence we can get, whether it's you replaced your HVAC or had to redo your roof, all those things are useful in showing that your home is actually overassessed. And if we can prove that your home is overassessed, we can get them to reduce that assessment, in turn, reducing your tax bill. So every single year you have to do it over and over again. So yeah, there's lots to do.
oh, interesting. I hadn't thought about yeah, because it happens every year, doesn't it? They always come back because that's how that's how our principalities get money. That's one way to improve streets and all that other stuff that they do. But sometimes it feels unfair because we really don't have a say in it. It reminds me, and this may relate or not, you tell me, but we used to own two timeshares.
Mm-hmm.
Timeshares, and they were great for about 10 years until they kept increasing fees and all this stuff. And we finally had to get out of it, and that's really hard. So we hired a company to help us get out of it because it's a very convoluted thing, and you have to know the levers to pull and the people to talk to and all of that. Well, we finally got it, but I think most people just stay in their timeshares because they're stuck. I think a lot of people stay in their taxes because they don't even know that it's possible. They wouldn't even know the first step to take to start negotiating to reduce their property taxes. So talk about the process and who is this for? Is this for like somebody who owns like one house, like me, real estate investors who own multiple houses, or everybody? I mean, unpack that first, and then let's talk about kind of the process.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the whole mission at Ownwell is to make the cost of real estate more clear and equitable. And as before, like I used to work for a billionaire. These are things that corporations, big companies, and the people who own so much real estate in the country are already doing. So I found at Ownwell to level the playing field in sorts, and we help everybody. Anybody who owns real estate, anybody who owns one home to 20 homes, $100,000 home to a $10 million home, we can help. It's a similar process, and it's the same for corporations. It's the same for individuals. It's the same for a trust that you hold your house in. So we really help everybody. And the whole mission is, we truly don't discriminate. We want to help people with a $50,000 home or a mobile home the same way we want to help someone with a mega mansion. The process and how it works, like I said, is the same for everybody. So at Ownwell, we've gone deep in every single jurisdiction because the process is different by state and the process is even different by county, and sometimes even further than that. Sometimes you have to file at a village in addition to your county, or they're all called different things. And to try and figure this out, yes, any property owner can do this on their own. And we encourage those who don't want to use Ownwell or a tax consultant or an attorney, the typical way that people do this, to do it themselves, because there's really no downside here. And the process is filing paperwork, but you have to file it within a small window of time. That you're told your new assessment, and you typically have 30 to 60 days to file this to contest that assessment. And then after you've filed that, you get scheduled for an informal hearing or a formal hearing or eventually arbitration. There's many different steps of the process upon which you have to show up with evidence or build out a case to argue why your assessment should be lowered or you're taxed incorrectly. And that's complicated. In states like Texas, which is one of our larger states, real estate sales aren't public knowledge. You can't look up the sales of it's a non-disclosure state. So you're handicapped from the beginning because the assessor knows sales values and you don't. So that's one area where we help. We are licensed realtors in addition to tax consultants. So we can help gather all the information that would build a great case. Again, anybody can do this. I encourage everybody to do this. But Ownwell tries to make it quick, easy, and we go to all applicable hearings on your behalf. We escalate it as needed to arbitration or in some intense cases, litigation, because we're so confident that we can help people. And I guess one piece that I should have mentioned before is we operate entirely on a contingency fee. So we don't charge you anything if we don't save you any money. And if we do save you money, we charge 25 to 35%, depending on the state and depending on the jurisdiction. So there truly is no downside. Do it yourself or use Ownwell. But I do encourage you to take some action when you receive that sort of notice in the mail about your property tax bill.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So you function kind of like a personal injury attorney. They do all the work. If you don't collect, they don't get paid. Kind
Exactly.
of the same thing here. You're going to do all the work, and if you don't save me money, you don't get nothing. And if you save me $1,000, then you get 250 bucks. Ballpark, right? I mean, it's kind of how it works. And I get 750 bucks.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, we take our fee just for the amount of labor we have to put in, the expertise that we put in on your behalf, but we're taking all the risk up front by doing all that work. If we don't save you anything, it's our labor costs and our hard work that we have to eat. That's why we're so confident to operate on the contingency fee. Like, let us see what we can do for you and
Yeah.
charge a percent of what we save you.
And I would assume, maybe not, but I'm sitting here thinking, man, I'm in a new neighborhood, right? So if I use you guys like next year when I get my assessment and you save me money, guess who I'm going to go to all my neighbors and go, hey, check this out. And then you get referrals from me for all my neighbors, I'm assuming, because it's not like you lower mine and everybody gets lowered. Everybody has to do this on their own, right?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that anecdote you told about the baseball game is so true. Over 30% of our customers are from word of mouth.
Yeah.
And some of our customers are willing to, for free, put yard signs in their yard that say like use Unwell. So they're really things about your home. It's very emotional. It's very personal. If you think about how you find a new roofer, right? You usually like see a sign in your neighborhood, or you ask your neighbor who they use because they did a good job or not. We see people talking about us on Nextdoor and Facebook groups. So yeah, if you use Unwell and have a great experience, please do tell your neighbors. We love to help large communities, and we've even represented entire HOAs before.
Yeah. Oh, Oh, there's an interesting idea. Um, okay. So somebody sitting here, let's talk real estate investors. Somebody whose investment, they got 10 properties, 12 properties or so. They come in and you do the analysis on each of the properties. I'm assuming because they're probably in different locations normally, right? Or unless they own like an apartment building. So you can go in and do the no matter where they are in the United States, because you got all the data from everything, and then show them how much they can save on each of their properties. Is that right?
Yeah, so today Ownwell only operates in 7 states. So
Okay.
unfortunately, we're not there for everybody, but the big states, California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, New York, Illinois, and Washington, we are open, and we do represent clients that own thousands of homes and tens of homes and hundreds of homes everywhere in between. And we've built out software so you can basically upload all your information. These are all my properties, and we can tell you all the tax bills, and we can actually pay all your tax bills because it gets complicated, right? If you own 3 properties in Florida, 2 in California, and 4 in Texas, each cycle is different. Timing's different. The tax bill is due at a different time. The process is all different. So we've found a lot of success in helping investors, especially as home investing in homes and single family rentals has become more and more popular. Taxes are really confusing and difficult to manage. So we help people pay their property tax bill. We help people appeal it. We make sure they have the adequate exemptions on there. And we track it all in one place on unwell.com on our portal to try and make it as easy as possible.
How cool. Yeah, no, you just opened up a whole new can of worms is all the people who are doing Airbnbs and VRBOs now.
Exactly.
They need to be watching every dollar because it's an investment. They're looking for an ROI. And if you can work with Ownwell and you can save, I don't know, $500, $600 a year on taxes, that's ROI right there that just goes to your bottom line that you probably haven't thought of, because I bet a lot of people, well, that's just a tax write-off now, my tax bill. Well, which is better, right? To write the government a check or to put a check in your pocket, which is better. And so talk about, or do you have like average savings, or is that just too wild of a question? I mean, is it when you work with somebody, is the average person saving $500 a year, $1,000, or is that just too wacky of a thing because there are so many variables?
So many variables, but the number that we like to quote, and I actually looked this up earlier today, is on average, we reduce tax bills by 5.95%. So around 6%, we can reduce your tax assessment, and it's totally depends, right? If your home's worth $2 million, your tax bill is going to be higher. So the average, dollar amount totally depends on the value of your home because your tax bill depends on the value of your home. That's why 5 to 6% is pretty typical.
So that's like really making an investment where you're going to earn 5 or 6%, because that's what you're getting back. That's just one different way to look at it, because I always find it's easier to save money than it is to try to make money. And what you've put together is a way to save money, and you can deploy that money in other places, whether it's savings or whatever. Is that kind of a wacky way to look at it, or is that okay?
Yeah, I always say our product actually has infinite ROI because
Uh-huh.
well, I guess depending on the value of your time, right? The value of your time to sign up with Ownwell, and then we'll go get you money that 95% of people wouldn't have had anyways.
Right.
We're going to reduce your tax bill for a very small investment, but you're absolutely right. Like take those tax dollars and reinvest in your home, like spring for that new countertop that you've been waiting for, or
Yeah.
we have people who tell us about what they actually end up doing. We've paid for their kids' ballet classes to, keeping senior citizens in their home in certain instances. And we love those sorts of stories.
Yeah. Oh, that's very cool. So what is the just boil it down, because I mean we're talking to a lot of business owners who probably own property. I mean they probably own their house, but they also, many of them own the property their business sits on,
Yeah.
and it works for that as well, right? Because this is just property taxes, whether it's a house or a business or a whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly. We represent everything from gas stations to car dealerships to mobile homes to large apartment complexes, right? It's the same process. It truly is. The way
Wow.
you value real estate is slightly different, but we have over 30 different tax consultants that are across the country who are experts in valuing all different types of property. So we can help any real estate owner with any type of real estate across our open geographies.
That's amazing. All right, so talk now about what's the process look like? Do they call and have a consultation with you? Do they go to the website and just log in? I mean, what does it kind of look like for someone? What's that journey for somebody to take next steps?
Yeah, the easiest way, of course, is on the website. So you go to ownwell.com, you can enter your address and get a savings estimate immediately. So you can get some directional sense of can we save you money or not? And
Yeah.
that's pretty accurate. And then there's a quick sign up process. You basically authorize Ownwell to talk to the government on your behalf, and you can be done. So if you have one property, you can sign up in less than 3 minutes. If you've got 100 properties, I'm sure you don't want to go through the sign up flow 100 times.
Yeah.
So you'd want to set up a call with our sales team or our dedicated
Yeah.
customer care staff to help you get set up a little bit faster. But for most people that own one or two properties, it's really easy to sign up online at ownwell.com.
That's amazing. This is very intriguing. And say again the states that you can work in right now.
Yeah, it's California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, New York, Illinois, and Washington State.
Okay. If you live in any of those states, you need to go to your computer right now. Pull out your phone. Go to Own Well, just like it sounds. Own Well, because he wants you to help you own your house well, right? Ownwell.com. And oh my goodness, sign up for this silly thing. Find out how much money they're going to be able to save you on property taxes on your house, your business, your investments, whatever it is. If you own real estate, I think Colton and his team can help you save some money. Go check them out. And then, yeah, if you're a multi-property owner, well, go to the website and book a call with one of their salespeople type people and have that conversation, because it's like a 6% tax reduction is what they find on average. And the other thing that you mentioned that I want to pack is that's a really and help me craft this out. It's a year over year over year over year because you reduce your assessment, but they assess it every year. So next year you get your new assessment. Guess what? Ownwell's there, right? To do it
Exactly.
again if they need to. Is that accurate?
Yeah, the way we describe it is a property tax monitoring program. We will tell you what your new assessment is and take action on your behalf. If you can tell us to or tell us not to, but we're going to tell you every single time you should take action. So we have customers we've appealed 4 years in a row. We're only 4 years old, but it is an ongoing thing. You need to monitor your property taxes for errors and make sure you're not overpaying every single year in every new assessment you get.
That is very cool. It's kind of like those ID protection companies, right? They're protecting your ID to make sure people don't steal your identity theft and all this. You're protecting people's money, really, and their property taxes, which is really this stuff behind the curtain that we never think about. We just pay. And I think it's brilliant. Well done. Way to come up with this idea and figure out how to flush it out. And I presume you guys are slowly migrating across the nation, that sometime you're going to be coast to coast. Fair? Is that right?
Yes, we started where, as you can kind of guess by our states, there's a lot of real estate value and property taxes are very high, but we are absolutely expanding across the country and we're expanding different services as well. So there's like, for example, there's something called property tax exemptions where it's making sure you're essentially filing tax deductions on that property. And we're expanding that beyond our appeal geographies very quickly. So Ownwell coming to you soon.
Excellent. I love it. Well, go and sign up if you're in one of those states. If you're not in one of those states and you know somebody in one of those states, go tell them about ownwell.com, because it's really a fascinating business, and it works for anybody who owns real estate. And I love how you state it, from mobile home to mega mansion, anywhere in between. Uh, Colton and his team can help you. So, man, Colton, thanks. This has been a fantastic conversation. I'm really excited about what you're doing and looking forward to watching just the growth of the company and how many people you're going to help put more money in their pocket so they can stimulate the economy, put their kids in dance class, do whatever they need to do by helping them monitor their property taxes in a really cool, easy way, because it sounds like y'all do all the work.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Michael.
You,
I appreciate all the kind words.
Well, Colton, you're welcome. Thanks so much for being my guest on Expert Speak. And be sure to tune in again next week for another great interview. Take care and God bless.
Thank you.